Phoenix Suns just robbed the NBA with drafting Ryan Dunn, as he has proven to be a steal in this NBA draft, as he is showcasing the skills of being one of the top tier talented players in this class. So how did James Jones, how did Mike Budenholzer, how did Matt Ishbia craft all of this up to bring this success for the Suns, leading in a bounce back season this year? We're going to be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love, showing your support over on the channel these last couple of days. I want to thank a huge shout out to Suns Planet Pod for having us over there as well. They're absolutely fantastic. If you guys missed that, go check that one out as well. But without further ado, let's get into the video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And like we said in the introduction, this is just beautiful to watch. This is absolutely amazing, as Ryan Dunn is just proving himself once again to be the steal for the Suns, and it is just looking better and better for this organization in my eyes, and I'm absolutely ecstatic to hear about this so far. So let's dive in and let's get into all the news revolving around Ryan Dunn. Like we all know, and as we all seen, he's been balling out. He's been proving it, and he did it once again yesterday versus the Nuggets. They took them on. They beat them 118 to 114. Start off 3-1 so far in this preseason and really showcasing their skills. Ryan Dunn last night, like we said, 20 points, 7 for 15 from the field, 6 for 11 from 3-point range, and really showcasing that 3-point shot ability and what was viewed as his kryptonite, which was viewed as his non-selling point for this organization, for teams to kind of pass on him, has been debunked, has been proven wrong. And as we can see, he's made 6 threes from Dan Ollinger, 6 threes in tonight in the Suns preseason game against the Nuggets, where Dunn only made 7 threes total in 34 games at Virginia last season. So not only has Mike Budenholzer unlocked our guy and Ryan Dunn, made him a better 3-point shooter, made him more an effective 3-point shooter, but has ultimately gotten this team fully ready and has really turned a lot of people's heads on this draft class. I know personally, CJ and I stated since the beginning, keep the draft pick, keep the draft pick, keep the draft pick, and we're ecstatic that they were able to keep Ryan Dunn. Now, Dunn also kind of fits into that wing room that we've discussed and talked about, filling with Kevin Durant, Royce O'Neal, and I think he's going to be that third wing, really inserting himself into this bench unit, like we've seen, and as he showcased 6 for 11 from 3-point range from a guy who attempted 1 3 in college, 1 3, and shot 20%. He is now attempting at least 5 threes a game and shooting 45% in the first 2 preseason games. Game 3, we won't lie, he didn't have the greatest notion, but in this game, 6 for 11, leading this team, being one of the high showcases of this squad, with players like Booker and Beal and Durant are out, just only goes to show you and only goes to add on the fact that this guy is going to be a standout player. I've been saying this, I've been talking about it. If his 3-point shot could fall, he could turn into a Herb Jones, could turn into a JD McDaniels S-type player. And now that might even be too low of a freaking prediction, because this man is a steal, guys. Ryan Dunn has been proving this, and on not just on the offensive side, but also on the defensive side, what he was drafted for. He was the best wing defender in this draft class, and he's proving that once again, guarding players like Cade Cunningham, stepping up and taking players on the Denver Nuggets that are big requirements. These are things that we want to see out of our players, and like I said, Dunn with the Suns, they went out and waived DJ Liddell. They went out and waived Nazir Little to give their rookies this ample opportunity to showcase Ryan Dunn, to showcase, Oso Ighodaro. And I think a lot of fans, including myself, maybe thought Oso would be the guy to kind of scream and kind of show out, as he had the better summer league this year. And we thought that kind of going into the season with Nurkic having maybe an injury leading up to it, Oso's going to kind of blossom, kind of showcase his skills, and he's going to work himself to the backup center. And even though Oso has showcased some really good tendencies, really good bright spots for this team and kind of developing as a young piece, Ryan Dunn has screamed off the charts and is putting everybody on notice. There are teams on the fan bases of the other NBA squads that are paying attention. I've seen Lakers people talk about Ryan Dunn. I've seen Celtics people talk about Ryan Dunn. I've seen Grizzlies people talk about Ryan Dunn. This man's name is going to be a stable point around the league. He is going to be a known name commodity within this Suns organization. And it just goes to show you that they did their work this offseason. They went out and addressed their needs. They went out and found their role players that they're going to bring in, and it is going to change the game here for Phoenix. let's not forget that Phoenix, even though they did have some discrepancies last year, they were a top 6 team in the Western Conference, and they went out and got better, bringing in Tyus Jones, bringing in Monte Morris, find, getting away with that assist to turnover ratio issue, as we've already seen so far in the preseason. I know John Voita was the one that had this in the 2 preseason games: 21 assists to 1 turnover. 21 to 1 assist to turnover ratio in first 2 preseason games. That is absolutely fantastic to see. And it is a complete 180 from last year's squad. You look out and you see, obviously, these guys have been stepping up. You went out and added Mason Plumlee to help cure those Drew Eubanks issues, and now you got some clear wing depth in Ryan Dunn, Royce O'Neal, Kevin Durant, Grayson Allen to come off the bench. You got some ample shooting as well. Like we said, this Suns team, they needed Grayson Allen in that starting lineup last year to add that three-point shooting to this team, because players like Booker and Beal had to be those playmakers, had to be those facilitators, had to be those guys that were setting up the offense. They were taking a lot of mid-ranges. They were scoring more at the basket. Durant was also doing that as well, prioritizing as a mid-range scorer. So Allen had to be inserted as that three-point guy. But now with Ryan Dunn kind of coming into this team and looking at this squad, it's looking like that is going to be a three-point bonanza here in Phoenix with the addition of Mike Budenholzer, as he's obviously making that a staple, making that an implant of this team. We've seen the Suns take more threes in the preseason than they took in any regular season game last year. That is just going to show you that it is going to be a focal point of this team. And similar to with the Boston Celtics with Joe Mazzulla and their offense, how they run it, Mike Budenholzer is looking to bring that over and kind of live and dying by that three ball over here as well. Prioritizing Bradley Beal, prioritizing Devin Booker, prioritizing Kevin Durant to be those scorers, but also having ample guys like Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn, Grayson Allen, Monte Morris, being able to hit those jump up shots and step up for this team. Like we said and like we broke down, not only did Ryan Dunn look really good in hitting jump shots 6 for 11, but Royce O'Neal 3 for 6 from 3 point range. Bull 4 for 6 from 3 point range. Monte Morris 4 for 7 from 3 point range. So not only is it just Ryan Dunn, but these other role players are stepping up and hitting these 3 point shots and looking efficient when they need it. Bull specifically in a game where he was needed to have a big one after the first couple of games, not really standing out for Suns fans. Suns fans really wanting to capitalize on the Bull fever. Having him really turn up in this preseason game was huge for their outlook and kind of not just writing off Bull at the start of the season. And I think it's also key, once again, Royce O'Neal kind of stepping up, showcasing his 3-and-D wing style. And I think him and Ryan Dunn are perfect. This is why we said in our previous video, there's no need to go after PJ Tucker, because they already have players in Dunn, Okogie, and Royce O'Neal that can play those roles. Now, Okogie's another name as well that I kind of want to mention here before we sign off, as I think that with Ryan Dunn and Royce O'Neal kind of showcasing the 3-and-D role already and being great volume shooters, it kind of eliminates Josh Okogie from this secondary lineup, kind of moves him maybe to this third lineup here, where maybe we can see a second team of Monte Morris, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn, and Mason Plumlee. That's something that I think could realistically really work within this team. Having some great wings in that secondary unit and kind of plugging and playing some of those guys in to fill in some starters would also be key. And then obviously looking at this third unit here, kind of compromising of obviously Oso Ighodaro, Bull, Damian Lee, and Josh Okogie. Not that those 4 players don't deserve any playing time, but I think from what we've seen from preseason, it's obvious that the top 10 guys will be kind of solidified, and then the bottom 4 will kind of be there for Okogie. I think that he has some value. Some other teams will look at him, and the Suns could keep him to use him as some depth, just in case some injuries go down or they need an extra defender out there. But since his contract is a little bit tradable, because the Suns need to kind of necessarily are in the second apron and don't want to be holding on to long-term contracts if they don't necessarily need them, I can see them utilizing Josh Okogie to flip possibly near the trade deadline with Ryan Dunn's emergence so far as we've seen. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel about this Suns team? How do you guys feel about Ryan Dunn? Like I said, I think the NBA needs to be on notice. A lot of other teams have already turned their heads watching Ryan Dunn, and it is going to be necessary because this kid is a dog and ready to perform for this Suns team. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel about Ryan Dunn implementing himself to this Suns roster, kind of inserting himself as a main focal point of this draft class? Like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support. We're going to try to keep up with the videos, like I said, all throughout the off season, leading up to the regular season. And once season starts, CJ and I are going to be pumping out content for you guys all throughout the year. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for showing your love and support. Once again, I'm Bruce Velez. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns.